All right, so in Photoshop now I have all these textures, and I can now open my texture here, the wall TGA, and it looks like this. What I really like to do is go Image, Adjustments, Invert it. And I also, right off the bat, because I know I always forget this, is go into Channels and destroy Alpha 1. Okay, there we go. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make layers. We're going to double click background and hit OK. And we're going to keep layer 1 on top on multiply. Does that change anything? No, not at all. And this is why I did that. Now I can edit all the textures underneath it and they all make sense. I can come in here and go Window, Arrange, Float All in Windows. And I have all these textures, and I'm going to quickly go in here and click and drag the brick in. Close it out. I don't need it anymore. The weird wallpaper stuff, and I don't need that anymore. And the tile, and I don't need that anymore. Okay, and I don't need the brick, and I don't need this weird stuff or these scratch pads. So let's get rid of everything and just focus on what's important. The important thing is I snarfed a bunch of stuff off the internet, and now I have to figure out how to stretch it all back into shape. Now some textures are really big, some textures are small, so first thing I got to do is make these make sense. Okay. Okay, these. I know these are a 8-foot wall. Okay, I know that because it's about the height of the player. So if I can kind of think that way, that's 8 foot. I should have no problem with this. I'm going to lock this layer so I don't mess around with it. That way I can just move these around. I have to figure out which one's my floor, which one's my wall, and which one's my ceiling. So I know this is going to be a wall. This one's going to be my floor. And this other one should be another wall. And I can look at that up by just going into face and highlighting these faces or UVs. So I can highlight these UVs, and I can go control right click to face, and I can see which one that is. That is my one wall over there. Okay. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, since it's a 6-foot wall, I can go like this and hit apply. And I'm going to say, this is about the size of what I want my tiles to be. Now, if I hold Alt, I can make a whole bunch of copies of those. And I'm doing this very quickly. I should be taking my time on it. But I don't want to be here all day making this tile. So I'm going to tile it much like I tiled my floor in my house. I'm going to say, yeah, we're just going to get it done, and that's how it looks. And you can move these a little bit if you use the arrow keys. So if I want to move it on a finite scale, I can do that. If I want to hit auto select, I can now go in here and I can adjust maybe this one. And there they all line up. Sort of. Okay, the brick wall. Okay, now I know this is a tile. Do I or don't I? I don't know the reference to tile here, because the tile would be something like a meter or a millimeter, or how many millimeters that's going to be. I'm not sure what that is yet. And that's my point right here. What scale? Because scale is so important. And I'll just demonstrate that for a minute. I'll get in here and maybe make this brick. And I'll just haphazardly put the brick in here. And I'll just plop this brick down. And I'll do the same with the wallpaper. This time I'll make the wallpaper smaller. I know the wallpaper's got to be shrunk down. Is it tileable though? And believe it or not, this is actually this is kind of this way people go about the first modeling. They go stumblingly upon it and say, hey, I'm just going to put a texture here. I'm going to put a texture here. They don't really think about tiles, or they don't think about scales. They just randomly place this stuff. Okay, so I just want to merge these 3 layers together. There we go. I can turn on this and I can start going, okay, this is my 1-room schoolhouse and this is how it's going to look. So it's a way of demonstrating some importances on scale. So what I'm going to do here is export this out to my Mac hard drive under users, shared, and go into Unity, Demo Island, and then into Assets, Objects. This is just going to be called wall period PSD. Okay. And if I want to, I could turn off the UVs. I'm just going to leave them on. And then I'm going to go quickly into Maya and go into Object, Export Selection. Remember to edit, delete by type history to get rid of all those, and modify freeze transformations to put it at a 1-to-1 ratio. Then Export Selection. I'm going to call this wall. No, room. There we go. So let's go back. Let's go back to Unity and find out how that's going to work.